The mystery of your sixth sense. Your future insight lies in today's neural choices. Imagine a woman in her mid-40s struggling with indecision and emotional overwhelm after a divorce. She begins journaling nightly and starts walking in nature with a mindfulness audio guide. Within weeks, her clarity improves. She reports moments of gut feeling about what to do next. What she is really describing is an emergent integration. I think it is integration. Emergent integration of conscious awareness and emotional regulation. Networks growing. Pruning. What was this one? Don't know. Let me check. Pruning and strengthening based on conscious focus and repeated practice. The brain's adaptation engine. The brain adaptation engine. Is it adaptation? Adaptation. The brain's adaptation engine. In a hyper-connected world, many of us are experiencing a growing sense of disconnection, not from our devices or calendars, but from our own clarity, instincts, and peace of mind. The modern brain often finds itself a little foggy. It struggles not from a lack of information, but from too much. This is where our sixth sense emerges. It is not a psychic ability, but a real biologically grounded human function. The brain's natural capacity to integrate experience, perceive meaning, and choice wisely. Neuroplasticity is your brain's built-in ability to rewire itself through experience. Every new thought, every learned behavior, and every emotionally rich moment creates microscopic change in neural circuits. I would say it's circuits. Over time, this rewiring influences how you think, feel, and behave. At the core of neuroplastic, I would say. Let me check. Neuroplastic change is conscious self-awareness on full steam. What you pay attention to literally shapes your brain. Directing attention acts like a chisel. What does that mean? Craving. What was it? Carving meaning from your experiences, but not all awareness is equal. Mindful, non-reactive attention, whether in meditation, creative play, or quiet observation, stimulates activity in areas like the medial, I would say. Let me check. Medial. The medial prefrontal cortex and posterior. What is this one? Posterior cingulate cortex. Well, I'm struggling to read today. Cingulate cortex, central hubs. Let me check. Hubs, not hubs. Central hubs of the default mode network, DMN. These areas support introspection, self-awareness, and imagination. When you're starting out the window doing nothing and suddenly connect to ideas in a flash of insight, that's your brain in a default. I think it's default mode. It's not ideal. Is it ideal or ideal? I think it's ideal. it's not idle. It's integrating creativity and the sixth sense. Great artists, inventors, and writers have of intuitive leaps or knowing without. These moments are not mystical. They are the fruits of rich internal networks unconsciously drawing connections across experiences, emotions, and stored knowledge. But overloading the brain with constant input, emails, meetings, and notifications prevent consolidation. Let me check. Do I pronounce it correctly? Consolidation. The system gets clogged. I don't know if I pronounce it correct. Clogged. Decision making becomes cloudy. One neuroscience student in our lab described how, after using a biometric app to measure neural activation during her meditation practice, she could see her brain's aha moments lighting up. Literally, she realized that her best insights weren't happening during study sessions, but in the silence afterward. Brain fog and cognitive fatigue, the modern epidemic. Okay. Epidemic. Cognitive overload is the enemy of your sixth sense. The more you push, the more your brain resists. Attention narrows. Working memory collapses. You feel confused, irritable. I think it's irritable. You feel what am I? You feel confused, irritable. How do I pronounce it again? Forgot. Irritable and indecisive. This isn't weakness. It is biology. Your brain, especially the prefrontal cortex, consumes a lot of metabolic energy. Chronic stress, multitasking, and sleep disruption drain it. When fog sets in, what you need isn't more effort, but restoration. What does that mean? Restoration. The DMN is where your sixth sense often emerges. It helps you imagine alternate futures, understand others' perspectives, and make meaning from your experiences while once dismissed as mental idling. I think it's idling. I'm gonna go with idling. We now understand the DMN is active during creativity, reflection, and emotional processing. Let me check. Okay, this is going on, and the prayer, I think it's about where am I now? Okay, I think I'm here. The DMN is where your sixth sense often emerges. I think I read this before. Okay, the sixth sense thrives in emotionally safe environments. Supportive relationships stimulate oxytocin, calm the stress response, and activate mirror neurons systems that helps us understand others. When you feel understood, your brain unlocks perspective. You gain access not only to what you know consciously, but to patterns and ideas you didn't realize were forming. Simple interventions can help. A 10-minute walk, hands-free, without any tech, helps you become more introspective. Walk with a friend and start a conversation that makes you laugh. Draw draw with a child. These are acts of neurological hygiene. Psychologist Richard provides compelling evidence that human connection can be observed in real time in the brain, as described in his 2012 book, The Emotional Life of Your Brain, co-authored with science writer Sharon Begley. When two people are truly engaged, their brain actively begins to synchronize this phenomenon measurable through neuroimaging. What is this word? Why they spell it? Neuroimaging is known as neural resonance. What does that mean? Resonance, and it supports deeper emotional how to pronounce it? Wow, I'm struggling. Attunement. Faster insight and more meaningful interpersonal exchanges. Curiosity invites the brain to recognize, unlike fear, which narrows attention. Curiosity expands it. It creates spaciousness for new associations. This is why asking better questions rather than forcing solutions can yield breakthroughs in thinking and emotional clarity. Try it yourself. Instead of asking, why can't I decide? Ask, what's a new angle I haven't considered? Neuroimaging shows that such open-ended inquiry lights up the anterior cingulate cortex and hippocampus. I would say hippocampus regions key to memory, navigation, and flexible thought. Strengthening it is simple but requires intention. You must create time for boredom, embrace solitude, reflect without distraction, let your mind wander on purpose. Conclusion: this sixth sense isn't a gift for the few, but a biological process available to all. By shaping your environment, nurturing relationships, managing cognitive load from and thinking harder, they come from the brain. Your future insight lies in today's neural choices. Train them well, and they're accessible but natural.